Motherfucker, no sound. Shit, excuse my language. I'm sorry. My mic was off because of the audio thing. Now I'm gonna have to go clip that. Oh, show must go on. Let's go. Okay. What's up, fight fans? And we're back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin. We have an amazing show for you here today. We're going to talk about the Naoya Inoue situation and what it means in boxing for where does Naoya Inoue's future lie? And what does this mean um, for his what does this mean for him coming to America? Bob Arum promised us that he was going to bring Naoya Inoue to America, and now it's being reported that Naoya Inoue entered a plea deal, um, a negotiation deal with the Saudi prince. Now, what I was talking about is, what does this mean when you read the headlines and it says that Naoya Inoue signed the deal, but it says that he signed a sponsorship. It doesn't say that he signed a fight deal per se. And when you see these headlines, and people right away are gonna say, Naoya Inoue entered a deal with him. Um, where do, where does that leave Naoya Inoue with Bob Arum? And I want to clear some things that Arum has already entered or what they call like a business arrangement with the Saudi prince, where he came out publicly and he had like him, Oscar De La Hoya, Ed Hearns, they all had came out and showed that they were gonna start working with him. So now that Bob Arum had future plans for Naoya Inoue, what does this mean? Are we gonna see him in America now? Or is he gonna go out to Riyadh season? So um does this take away the the Akmadalia fight? Or does he move up to 126 pounds? What's what's the agreement that they came to? You know, because a lot of these a lot of these contracts that they're writing in boxing, sometimes you gotta like step back and read the wording and know that he entered what some kind of like sponsorship with him, and I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm not quite sure on like, because that Naoya Inoue is promotional company originally is the gentleman from Japan. He works with Top Rank. Top Rank works with the Saudi Prince. The Saudi Prince just entered a deal with Naoya Inoue for $19.7 million. Like, where are we going with that? Is he going to come to Vegas now or is he not? you know, um, and who's in his plans. They mentioned a few names and possibility, but now these are the monkey wrenches that I was talking about when I had made my previous videos. I talked about situations and monkey wrenches that can occur in Naoya Inoue's career, and it could affect his trajectory, meaning that he's expressed that he wanted to stay at 122 pounds. He has. But I said that there were some things that might entice him to take another route, meaning at 126 pounds, there were better opportunities, better opponents, more chance for better legacy and more money, right? And then my second one was I said that the Saudi prince could step into the equation. And that was a big monkey wrench. And I knew that that was a possibility. And when he was seen in certain places with Naoya Inoue, I thought that it was going to be a matter of time. Look, now they're announcing it. I'm watching it all over the internet and I'm seeing all the sources that are dropping them, and it's credible sources. So I believe that this contract and this negotiation deal with the Saudi prince is real, right? So Like I said, it brings up a lot of interesting questions for Naoya Inoue's future and who's going to be his opponents because you know, $19.7 million. What is that covering right now? I'm a little on the fence with what exactly that what are you asking from him? Because okay, he's scheduled to fight Sam Goodman. The Saudi Prince does this to us all the time. He always has a tendency of stepping in right when a guy is in the middle of a fight. He wanted to talk to Saul Canelo Alvarez about a potential matchup with David the Monster Benavidez while Saul was in a fight. And Saul said, I'm not going to talk to you right now. I'll talk to you. He's done this a lot of times. He kind of puts the cart before the horse, you know. And then now this business arrangement is going on in the background. And what is this saying to Sam Goodman? You know, they're already like once again already talking another fighter up to potentially for a mega showdown, and then AJ goes and gets knocked out. Deontay Wilder goes and gets knocked out. The Saudi Prince has done this. Big Baby and Gerald gets knocked out when he's already talking up their next fight. You see? So I sit back and I watch boxing business unfold. And good shit, Naoya Inoue, for being in a negotiating room that $19 million is being handed to you basically because of the man that you made yourself to be at 100 and coming from 108 pounds. You made that, you're making that kind of money. Hats off to you, my man. Naoya Inoue, he's really setting the bar, and with everything he does, he's showing these lighter weight divisions that it's possible to make this kind of money. You know, you just got to sacrifice everything. It's hard work and dedication. What you put into the sport is what you're gonna get out of it. And Naoya Inoue seems to be capitalizing on every opportunity that is presented to him. And good for him. Good for him for you know, making these kind of deals, man. You know, what's that saying for everybody else? Look at the deals that he's signing at his weight at 122 pounds. You know, there has been hundreds and hundreds of champions down in those weight divisions that never in their career they made $1 million. No, not even close. And this man is opening doors for fighters and for new fans to see these fighters at this weight division. You know, it's just everything that he's doing is so big right now for the sport of boxing and in a lot of different ways. And some fighters, I believe, should take a page out of his book. And the way he's, you know, the way he's dedicated his life to his craft. If you want to achieve what these kind of men achieve, you know, the Terrence Crawfords of the world, the Naoya Inoue's of the world, multiple division world championship, if that's what you desire. I'm not saying that every man and woman has the same vision or goals in boxing, but for the ones that want to pursue that kind of legacy, for the men and women that are not satisfied with just winning one when they get there. Once they get there, they thought in that moment, this is all they ever wanted. And in that moment, they knew they wanted more. I'm speaking to those kind of men. The men that go up and say, I want to be in the history books. It's not good enough just to be in the race. I want to win it. Naoya Inoue right now is setting a bar for these lighter weight divisions that this is possible. But you got to see what he's doing. You got to see the sacrifices that he's making. And he can't do this alone. Naoya Inoue cannot do this alone. He has a good boxing support family. And I think that is very important. His wife, recently talked about it, how proud she is of her husband, his brothers, sisters, his father, Shingo, his head coach, mentor, father. That is key. That is important when the people that you have around you are supporting you, 100%, and it allows you to be more comfortable at doing your job, you know. And it's very important. Naoya Inoue right now is he's really like, transcending the sport for Japanese fighters, being the first um Asian fighter in history to ever unify four belts in any weight division. The fact that he did it in two, and quickly the fans want to see that if he can do it in three. Um, Naoya Inoue, he's not a robot. He's not a robot. Although I romance in the thought that he could go to 126, he could do it again. You know, um, Sometimes I gotta calm down and I gotta realize that he is human. Speaking of Naoya Inoue, in which we are, I was watching the fight with Marlon Tapales, and at times I can be guilty because of I always study his fighting styles. I'm either looking at what he's doing or finding ways for how guys would be effective against them. You know, what I really didn't take into account in the Marlon Tapales fight was that he was really heavy. He looked fat in that fight. It's like I knew he was trying to pack on the weight, so I guess I looked past it because I accepted he's wants to get bigger. But what it didn't allow me to see is how it affected his fighting style. This weight that he's putting on, in fact, he's not as comfortable at this weight as he once was at 115, 118. When he was at like, you know, he was his physique was better. Um you could see he had better bounce, better twitch muscle, and it didn't allow me to see that when I guess I was trying to move with him throughout the weight divisions, and I was accepting he's going to get bigger. But it when I went back to watch the Marlon Tapales fight on, further looking at it, I started realizing I was like, wait a minute, we're blimping him up. You know, he's pushing his body to the maximum. He's really daring to be great, this little dude. Um, Not every man can do this, and not every man had the same body structure or gained weight like Manny Pacquiao did. Where that Manny Pacquiao, he was a kid. First of all, he was lying about his age when he entered, and he grew up in the ring, really grew up in the ring, and he grew into his frame. You know, he was probably going to be a big kid, but he was always starving out there in Philippines. So, but Naoya Inoue doesn't have that frame. And when I watched him in the Marlon Tapales fight, I realized I was like, man, you can't see his abs that much. You can't see his shoulders. Everything was round. It was all round, and he was kind of like had like little hips. Go back and watch that fight. Look at his skin color. Look at everything. It looked like he wasn't like really like busting into like big sweats. He was trying to like learn how to move at a heavier weight. And he was even trying to and he was in the transition of trying to pack on more weight. And that was a little, now that I look at it like that, it was a little concerning, and it speaks to how I'm starting to view him at 126, how he looks in his last fight with TJ Doheny. Um, and between his last, I want to say between his last three fights, collectively, now that I start paying attention to it, because sometimes when I see some of these videos, I think, oh, this is just hate. But at times I'll sit there and I'll go, if I can sit there and talk, then I should be able to listen, sit there and listen. So then sometimes I will go and watch it, even though I'll be like, man, I want to change. I watch it because I want to hear exactly. I don't want to, watch half a video and comment on it. So I've been guilty of that. So I learned my lesson on that. So I won't do that. So I'm watching them talk about Naoya Inoue, and I've heard them say he looked slower. He looked um like he didn't look as impressive, right? And I chalked that up in the beginning as them being haters, but and then I started, you know, okay, let me see if there's some credibility to what they're saying. And I guess I knew that, him moving up so fast, for God's sake, he didn't take no tune-up fights. He went straight after the champion. That was his acclimating to the division fight. The best champion, 122 pounds, had to offer it in Stephen Kubo Fulton. So he is. I have to understand that. I have to understand that all these fights right here, although they're world title fights and title defenses and pretty impressive shit with what he's doing, he's still trying to settle in right there at 122. So I said to myself, okay, Sam Goodman is going to be his next opponent. Sam Goodman, in his own right, the man can box. The man can box. That's all I said. I didn't say that the man had power. I didn't say the man was faster. I didn't say any of that. I said the man can box. I'm going to give him that. Sam Goodman, I would like to see what Naoya Inoue it will start to look like now. It's like any sculpture of clay. When you start off, it's got a lot of round angles. It's blimped up. You're gonna have to mold that into the body you want. So with each fight, with each opponent, I want to see how better in shape and how better he acclimates to this division. I'm starting to see a lot more of what Naoya Inoue, the fighter, is talking about, rather than me as a fan wanting to see him fight these guys just to shut other people up, and paying attention to what the fighter's saying. He's telling us, and he's been telling us, no, I have to do this. I gotta be here. I'm gonna be fighting here for a little while. He recognizes um, the obstacle that it is to move up. And he doesn't want to fall in a pitfall like a lot of other boxers that were led by fans, by money. This is where this interesting topic comes in, where he signed a contract with him, $19 million. And that's what I was talking about, and what does this mean? What does sponsorship mean? This is not a contract. This is a deal. There's a difference. What did you just acquire his assistance for? And how much do you play and where Naoya Inoue fights next? Is that what you're buying? What does that mean? They in the article, I read the article, and the article talked about potential fights, basic boxing jargon. And I'm like, yeah, you're not really saying anything. You're just saying the same shit anybody would say in that position, but explain in detail what is $19.7 million buy you. What is it buying you? It's not like you said, okay, $19 million, you're gonna fight Akmadalia. You gave us a name, you gave us a price. Now we would know that, right? Okay, that's not what they did. It's all over. It says sponsorship. So look, I got questions. I got questions. Where does this what does this leave us? Is Bob Arum still gonna bring him to United States? Does he not come to United States now because he's gonna fight in Riyadh season? Are we not gonna be able to get to see him here for how many years now in United States, Bob? Or are you still? What does this all mean? So that right there, I'm gonna follow more up on this story and see, but I'm yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with a man that you know came down from that low weight division and the kind of champion he's been in through his last two divisions. I've seen fighters like Manny Pacquiao, right? But unfortunately, I came to really know who Manny Pacquiao was later on in his career when he finally came to the States. It's not like I was following Manny Pacquiao through all his entire first half or even middle part of his career. No, I had no idea who he was. I didn't know Manny Pacquiao busted on the scene like like uh like uh like a wrecking ball. Like my daughter says, I'm coming through like a wrecking ball. Yo, um, and I kind of and I was also young, and I think I was boxing during that time, amateur. So when boxers box, they typically only, know about themselves. And yeah, so I didn't have that connection with Manny Pacquiao. I had a different kind of connection, when I came and he came into some amazing fights, I can go down the list, um, but Naoya Inoue is a little bit different with me. I've been watching him for quite some time, for a very long time. And, it's impressive to see him because, you know, um, I have receipts. Okay. You can go back multiple videos where I was, and I would reference, it was a joke, you know what I'm saying? And I would, as soon as you looked at Naoya Inoue's picture at like 108 and 115, come on, guys, right? They were saying, this guy's going to beat you up. Oh, sign me up, right? And I said he had the best disguise in all of boxing because behind that calm boy band look, that little demeanor he has, there's a killer behind that, a real assassin, right? And it was too late for those guys. You didn't find that out until you were in front of them. Until he was already, you were trying to survive. If you were lucky, you didn't get knocked out, right? And with each guy, right, the next guy, see, the machismo of the sport of boxing, right, won't let the next guy talk. He's just gonna say, Ah, you lost to him because you suck. Wait until he fights me, right? So then he gets beat up. So he keeps going up until people really started paying attention. Now, my man had to do a lot of stuff for people to pay attention, but that World Series of Boxing tournament that Ali, I think, is what really catapulted him when he entered that tournament, if you ask me. I mean, he was doing and he was knocking people out before that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But in the sport of boxing, we see people get knocked out all the time. That doesn't make you the best fighter in the world, does it? I mean, I'm not impressed by I mean, I love them, when they happen. Yeah, it happened. But, I've seen that before, right? So it's not just knockouts. It's who you're doing it to. What's the stake for? What is the fight about? Championship belt? Now we talking. Are you fighting another champion? As you go up, the stakes of the fight get higher. And if you're performing on a world stage like that, then that's when you start to separate yourself from the other men. That's where legends are made. World championship fights, big moments. There've been a lot of great fighters, knockout artists that never reached that plateau of championship legacy status. Julius Jackson was an amazing knockout artist. I think he can knock out any human in the world, but why he always lost those big fights, I don't know. He'd win the belt, lose it. Win it back, lose it. Like, it was just this one dude, or and then this other, we just kept beating him, and he would knock out everybody else. I don't, you have to, that's where legends are made. You can be an awesome fighter, a great fighter, you know, but you got to win those big fights and those big moments, to really, separate yourself. So that's why Naoya Inoue is really special because although, in appearance, you may look at him and you may say, man, this guy might, look a certain way or whatever. And you might, you know, um, there's a real example where they say, don't judge the book by its cover. He is like the definition of that, for God's sake. Um, if you were just to see him out in the street in public, and he was to bump into you or step on your fresh Air Force Ones there, right? The classic ones, right? And you backed up and was like, yo, yo, you might be in trouble. Yo, because his demeanor and the way he looks would really fool you, so that's why I say that about him. But what he's doing inside of the ring, make no mistake, when he's retiring, it's all said and done, they're gonna come back and they're gonna look at all the fights and everything he truly did. Sometimes it's hard to give a fighter his flowers, his full credit, when his record isn't sealed yet, because as a lot of legends and uh, older fighters in the game and reporters know, some of these champions don't retire well, and we've talked about this. So, and when it's all said and done from him, unfortunately, I think a lot of people are gonna like, um, they're gonna some people are gonna miss out on them, and we're gonna you believe me, you're gonna wish that you paid attention to a lot of his fights and maybe perhaps woke up at 7 to watch him live, because it's nothing like watching a fight live and the butterfly and the suspense of watching the fighters enter the ring. There's nothing better than that. So yeah, let me read some of y'all messages. What's up, Mark? At 115, he had 8 belts. What are you guys talking about? Hold on, let me move this. At, at 8 belts at 118, he had 9 belts. He only had 4 belts at 122 so far. So he probably has around another 3 or 4 more fights at 122. So maybe one more year before he moves up. Oh, waiting for Junto. Yeah. Well, what's up, Claymore? How you doing, brother? Yeah. Turkey strikes again. Strikes again. Listen, he's getting all the big fighters and he's surrounding himself with these big names and stuff. You know, yo, I'm about to drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to come in and share any opinions or anything or talk about anything. I'm gonna drop that in there too. Um, but Turkey Al Sheik, man, he's like if he can't get Saul, he's starting to realize that there's other fish in the sea and there's other big fights to be made. Naoya Inoue, man, we talked about this, man. The kind of money that he's bringing to this weight division and making it possible for these other guys to dream big and know that if they keep winning and they make themselves this kind of fighter, that these kind of opportunities can be made for you as a fighter. So I think that I think he's good for the sport, man. Yeah, $19.7 million. I was reading that, Mark, and that's what my discussion was here was when I read the article, $19.7 million for what? It says he entered a sponsorship deal with Turkey Al Sheikh. That's what the article said. It didn't say that he made a deal for a number amount of fights. He didn't say, I got you for 7 fights. I got you a 9 fight deal. It didn't say that. So I was like, and then it said a whole bunch of like boxing names. Like they mentioned, and like I said, the article basically said boxing jargon, right? But it didn't really answer my question on what does this mean for Naoya Inoue's future. Bob Arum gets in the ring. He announces, I want to bring him to Vegas. Does this mean that Naoya Inoue does not come to America? Does this mean that Naoya Inoue stays at the 122? Or does he move up? Or does this mean that he acquired the services of Naoya Inoue? And by signing in that contract, you could pretty much say that no matter what Naoya Inoue's next fights, he'll be discussing business with Turki Al Sheikh. I guess everybody in the room was going to have to say okay. And I think he's going to be fighting in Riyadh season. Why would I pay you $19 million to go back to your regularly scheduled program? Okay, I'm going to give you 19.7. Naoya Inoue and Bob Arum do exactly what you guys planned had to do. What the hell am I paying $19 million for? So if I'm paying $19 million, my question was, for what? What are you paying the money for? So I know that the money's there. I know it's a great business deal. This is like, this is hitting the lottery for a guy at 122 is making that kind of money. Are you shitting me? That is one of like the biggest leaps in boxing history. And you know what the guys at 122 right now, 118, Juto Nakatoni and all these guys just saw? Opportunity. You get in there and start knocking people out. The Turkey Sheik get you that phone call. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. But Naoya Inoue just opened the door. Now, what he's doing in so many different ways is so big for the sport of boxing. It's not just for him. When Tom Brady won them Super Bowls, he didn't just take it, he brought everybody else with him. Towel Boy, fucking Water Girl, all of them got rings. I took everybody with me. So that's why it's big. But so on that side of it, I get that part. I get that part. My questioning, because I want to know the ins and outs. I wish I was in the room. I wish I was a fly on the wall, right? Why? What's his future plans? And I know that these are the things that they're going to announce, I'm curious. I'm curious. I want to know. I want to know. What does this mean? Because there was a part of me, listen, that if Naoya Inoue was going to fight in Vegas, I would collectively get a backpack, put my thumb out, and I'll start hitchhiking now. And eventually I'll get there before the fight, but I'm going to be there. All right. I will be there. Okay. But if he's out in I'm like, man, every time, like, I thought that I would get a glimpse of him, or like in New York City, I was like a little bummed out because of that, because he was actually there. He accepted the award there. Man, had I really, really got like 100%, I might have took that chance, you know, and went there, because next day I had a flight and I was going to Puerto Rico on the next day. So, I just, he's a special fighter. He's in my time, in my era, you know, and he's one of the best fighters wherever you categorize him. That's your opinion. You have the right to. Um, but if I had a chance to lay eyes on him and watch him live, I would love to see him fight live. I would love to see what that shit looks like live. I want to be there. It's one thing, to watch them on TV, on a monitor or computer or your whatever device. But it's another thing in its entirety to be there live, watching them. You know, and I want to hear what his punches sound like. I want to see it. I want to experience the Naoya Inoue experience. That's what I want to do. And if you guys have been following me on this channel for quite some time, you guys have been with me throughout my experience on my journey. This all started because um I never got the chance to um turn pro. That was taken away from me. Um but I found that I can reinvent myself and give back to boxing in a different way. And through my journey of putting Round One Sports Talk together, you guys have been watching me grow. And with every interview, I get closer and closer to my dream, my passion of always, I always wanted to be a part of it. And since I can't, I'm never going to be a world champion. I decided that this was my journey. And as you guys tune in and watch and subscribe, and with every like, you guys help me, you know, live out my dream, and getting to know these fighters much, much more, getting better at this reporting and putting these videos together, and really sharing my insight and talking it out with you guys. That's, you guys are watching me, you know, fulfill my dreams. You know what I mean? And you're gonna see me go out to more fights. And the further that I take this, you know, um, this is something that I wanted to do. So I hope you guys enjoy watching my shows and watching me live out my dream of meeting these world champions and learning more every day about the sport of boxing and the sweet science. Um, and I always study it, the movements, the men and women, and the struggles and their stories that each individual has, why they climb out through the divisions and try to secure their dream of being a world champion. And I would love to be there and cover that and experience that with them. And that would be my way, of giving back to the sport that I love. So, thank you guys for, always showing me support here and on my journey, through covering boxing and watching all these fights and talking and debating. Speaking of debating, in fact, yesterday I was on Fight Hype, on Ron G Fight Hype. The title was, do you think that uh this guy that just fought the other night, what's his name? Schofield could beat Shakur. But I joined like late in the show, it's more down. And there was like 5 different miscues in the video before the video actually hops off real good. Um, First it was an echo. We were talking. Then he goes off. I want it just in case you go is fighthype.com and go check out the video. And so one of the guys that got on is this guy from Chicago got on, right? And we're in the lobby. The guy from Fight Hype's having microphone issues and it was echoing. We all experienced that. So what he did was he backed out, but I thought me and the guy thought we were still on the live stream, like the people were watching us, right? So me and the guy from Chicago get into a conversation. He's asking me questions. We talking. So all of a sudden he comes on. So me and the guy were like carrying the show, like the show must go on, right? Like if like Claymore, like if Blue Blood steps off, you keep talking, right? So that's what me and the guy, and he asked me about a particular thing that I in a segment that I did, whatever, and I started answering it. So he comes on, so it kind of threw off a little bit. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So we get it together, right? And we keep talking, me and the young man. And then we really came into a debate that me and him, we had to debate that, does belts matter in boxing? And I'm just going to leave it right there, right? You guys can go back and watch it. Now, mind you, I'm on their channel. Their fans are rocking me, of course. They're gonna, they're not gonna always side with me, right? But some of them, first of all, the entire video, I can't see the chat. What they're commenting, and I address that. I tell them in the video, I'm like, I don't see anything, just your face. So because I guess his system, they're figuring it out. So we were talking everything. I had a great time. We got on. So I know I went back today and I saw the chats. I was like, yo, these guys was rocking me in the video, but it was cool. It was cool. I had a great time. Um, me and the young man, we exchange opinions. I always like talking with people that know what they're talking about in boxing. I don't enter or go on shows to try to enforce my will or prove whether I'm wrong. Um, but I do like discussing boxing, and I made it very clear that although I'm passionate sometimes about it, don't don't read me like that. That's just the way I like. I got talk, but um, this is what I like to do. This is what I like to do, and I like to talk about it with gentlemen that know what they're talking about, whether we agree or disagree. Respectfully, I respect what those men and women over there at Fight Hype do. I'm so thankful that he allowed me to go on his platform and gave me the opportunity to come and talk boxing with him. He invited me back. Um, we gonna send them a text, in fact, back now. So look, I look forward to continuing my journey, and it this has been a a joy and a pleasure to always bring boxing to you guys and to talk with you guys here. You know, what's up, Bam? How you doing, brother? And please don't forget to hit that like button, guys. I don't think Tank fight will happen. He must be over 20 pounds. Heavy. Listen, I watched he'll knock him out easy. Naoya in a way he's a puzzle right now. I know that there's a lot of film on him now. The cat is out of the bag, and there's a coach and a kid out there right now studying Naoya Inoue's every move, and they're gonna come and they're gonna try to find a way to beat him. You know, Naoya Inoue, uh, you know, it's hard to think when you look at the guys that are there, right? You know, we can't think about a Superman or a super fighter that's not in the division. We have to use what we have, right? And what we're watching and looking at, that you can obviously see the frustration when the number one ranked contender in the IBF and WBO, Sam Goodman, is not even good enough for most fans to fight Inoue. They're taking the number one ranked, not in one organization, but two, and saying he's not good enough. What does that say about that man? You got to be higher than that when unfortunately you can't, because he has all the belts. There are no more champions. And he doesn't want your interim or secondary belt. Don't even bring that up, right? So even if you make yourself the number one and not just one organization, there are two organizations that deem him more than worthy. He's more than qualified and has earned his right at a Naoya Inoue fight. You know what they're saying? That's a bullshit fight. That Naoya Inoue is fighting lackluster opponents. Really? That should tell you how good he is. You're going to need something better than that. Where are you going to find this mystery fighter? Where is he? Because he definitely ain't making no noise in boxing. The only possible solution that we as fight fans, there's two. Because one man is making himself Junto Nakatoni from 115. And we talked about this. This is one of those rare moments in boxing that no one seems to be saying Junto's the smaller guy. He's coming up from the smaller weight division, but they sure the hell are not saying he's the smaller guy. You notice that? Because he's big for even the 118 weight division. Junto. They accept that fight. And the minute he steps into the 122, all bets are off. That's the fight that everybody's going to want to see. They're not. You mean to tell me that the fight fans are going to say, oh, Junto got into the 122. We want to see him fight Casamera. We want to see him fight MJ. No. Who would you want him to fight? So, and then the other direction is 126, because there's where you have an entirely new meal selection. You can pick from the menu what you want to have attack and kill. You know what I'm saying? What belt you want to fight for. Naoya Inoue's looking at the menu at 126, and he's looking for a world. Do you have a WBC in order in stock? Yeah, I'll take a WBO, a Chateau. Um, I want it put together with a IBF champion. Yeah, he's just ordering belts and champions, right? Uh, so that's where the better the opportunities lie for him. But there's that one that can come from the lower weight division. In fact, Bam Bam Rodriguez at this point, allow Bam Bam Rodriguez do Bam Bam shit. I think he's too small. He's a little bit too far down. I wouldn't accept him jumping, passing one weight division just to try to secure a lot of EV fight to dare to be great. You know, when fighters want to do those stupid things, they attach these headlines to it to excuse why they're doing what Jamel Charlo did with Saul Canelo Alvarez. That was never gonna happen. And in order to justify why he made that three-weight stupid foolish fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez, he put, "Oh, I'm daring to be great." And when you say, "Oh, I'm daring to be great," the fans, "Oh, he's daring to be." No, how about daring to be stupid? Could you put that down? Because that was impossible. The odds were stacked so far against you. He literally had less than a 3% chance on winning that fight. Probably less. Three weight divisions? Oh my God. He was so fat he couldn't even move off the ropes. He had to take a knee. 1-800 food. Yo, that would be Naoya Inoue's uh best options. He would have more options at 126. He would have the one option, but a mega fight in Japan. I think they would reopen that Tokyo arena. If Naoya Inoue versus Luis Pantera Nari can fill up 50,000 plus, close to 55,000 fans in that Tokyo arena with Luis Pantera Nari playing the villain, that we know the storyline that he beat the former Japanese champion not once but twice, got disqualified because of PEs, and got disqualified for coming in 5 pounds overweight. Okay, and then banned. So the storyline going into that fight to open the Tokyo arena, I think Japan versus Japan, with Junto having his fair share of Japanese supporters, they will reopen that Tokyo arena, and both these men would stand to make a pretty penny. Now, I said all that to say this. We must remind what the original, this video is what it's about. Turkey Ali Sheikh just came into the equation. $19.7 million for what? But I do know one thing. He just acquired the services of Naoya Inoue. So whatever plans Naoya Inoue has, $19.7 million is attached to that, and the Saudi prince got himself a good one right there. The Saudi prince is not sticking around for some of these divas in boxing that do not want to secure the best fights. The Saudi prince decided, let me go get a real warrior that says yes to the big fights. Because if you get Naoya Inoue these big fights, he's not saying, do you sell tickets? How many pay-per-view sell buys do you have? He ain't saying any of that. He's saying if you made yourself the number one, then you deserve an opportunity. TJ Doheny, Luis Pantera Nari, Sam Goodman. So you could see it's not about their ticket sales. Naoya Inoue's not looking at Sam Goodman saying, are you a pay-per-view fighter? Dude, how many ticket sales did you sell your last fight? He never said that. He said, did you earn your way to the top? So you're next in line? Let's go. That's what he's saying. So Turkey Ali Sheikh went and got himself a real warrior, if you ask me. He ain't getting a guy that's going back and forth with you. No, I don't want that fight. I want this fight. No, I don't want that fight. No, I don't want that. No, he ain't getting that guy. He getting a real action. And by putting fighters like that with other big fighters, you can have yourself a big card there. So interesting enough, I want to see what he does with Naoya Inoue. It's important. You know, if I'm not going to get him in America, well, then damn it, who are you going to put him on the Saudi, the Riyadh season card with? Who are you going to pair him up with? Are you a Chateau vinegar, wine 86? You know what I mean? Are you gonna serve it with lambs, potatoes, and what are you gonna pair them with? You know what I mean? You gotta give him somebody on the card with him. You know, don't be putting no Bam Bam Gerald Miller headlining the card with Naoya Inoue. Not acceptable. You know what I mean? I'll take Arrow. Arrow, believe it or not. I don't know if I have Arrow headline, but I put Arrow on the card. Arrow's name by itself, he carries weight though. His name carries still a lot of weight. You know, so Sebastian Fondora's sister is I'm not saying she's on card or anything, but when I went to think about Sebastian Fondora, his sister popped in my head real quick. I just wanted to send her out a little bit of love and give her flowers for her performance, man. She dropping bombs. She got touched up a little bit in the fight because the girl was wild. The girl was really taking it to her and like throwing like big shots, but she settled in a fight, got the knockout. She's on her way, man. Let's see if she can be one of those women champions that are what legends are made of. She's starting to do legend shit. So, congratulations to her, man. Good performance. So now, like, look, like, who are you gonna pair him up with? What do you guys think? Mark is going to be what? Top rank, what? I gotta back up a little bit. Now we got dropped round one. Yeah, look, um, you're in a fight, right? And if you get knocked down, it's not how you get knocked down in a fight, it's how you get up and respond. How did the fight end, in particular, in the one that you're talking about that he got knocked down in? What was the outcome of the fight? Oh, he knocked the guy out 3 times. And the last knockout that he knocked that guy that knocked him down that knockout is gonna be a candidate of knockout of the year. They're gonna put you on a monitor and they're gonna show like 5, 6, 7 potential candidates. And he's gonna put you on a banquet and on highlight reel knockouts for eternity. And you're talking about him being knocked down, facing adversity, coming back, and brutalizing the guy. I'll focus on the result of the fight. A knockdown, eh, you're in a fight. Can I believe you got knocked down in a fight? Yeah, man, you got knocked down in a fight. By the way, what were the results of the fight? What did you do? Did you get up? What happened? Tell me about it. I would like to know. Like Floyd Mayweather technically got a knockdown in boxing. Wasn't because a guy punched him. He punched the guy, broke his hand, and touched the glove. That's the closest you're gonna get. Was that a knockdown? Technically, yes. Did it get scored? No. Would it had it got scored? Would it be bullshit? Yes. Yes. But I just bring that up because throughout the tens of thousands and millions of fighters, how many legends got knocked down and got back up but didn't get knocked out? Then the room starts to get smaller with men, and you're going to have to acknowledge, well, damn, if the closest thing they ever did was knock you down, Terrence Crawford he officially got knocked down in a fight. The referee just he was Ray Charles in the moment. He just refused to see it because it was a clear knockdown that Terrence Crawford, we all know about that. There's the best of the best have been dropped. There's probably one guy that didn't get dropped, and that's him. And if statistically throughout all the men and women, that proves to speak to how hard that shit is to do. So statistically, Naoya Inoue is fucking on an amazing course. Amazing. Getting knocked down once now, is that where we're lowering the standards? Oh, if you get knocked down and you win the fight, you're a bum because you got knocked down. That's always going to be You up. You're out of the. What are you? What standard are you holding him to? To who? Okay, he got knocked down. And comparing to who? What kind of world decorated world champion that you got that you're comparing him to? The closest you're gonna have to compare him to that you can honestly say is probably Terrence Crawford. And you could probably say, you know, Terrence Crawford's kind of doing it better, right? He got more fights. Argumentatively, you could probably, yeah, you could, yeah, I would probably go that way. But that's one guy. He's still doing great, like exceptionally great. It's still only one guy. So okay, let's go to the second. Who else is better? Like, you know what I mean? So, that doesn't define you. Nah. He got knocked down. He got knocked down. That was a great answer I got to my question. One of my questions about Naoya Inoue was boxing situations you can't work over in the gym and sparring. Like, you don't get knocked down in sparring. Your coach goes, "Okay, kid, stay down, one knee. Wait until the count of 8, then rise up. And then when the guy attacks you, I want you to glow. Grab him and go." Beep. Like, you don't work on that drill in the gym. There are certain boxing things that until your boxers in that situation, how would he respond? Where's his heart? Let me see what you're made of. Are you when you get hurt, your nose is broken, you lose a tooth, you know? You're do you still want to be in the fight? Is this what you still want to do with your life? These questions you're going to have to answer them in boxing situations in the ring. That's the only way you're going to get that kind of experience under those bright lights. So when Naoya Inoue got dropped, in a way, I was like, oh shit. But the same thing, I'm looking at his father, Shingo, watch his son go down for the first time. Naoya Inoue has never experienced that. He's on one knee looking up at the referee. What's going through your mind, fighter? Warrior, where's your heart at now? Are you scared? Did you feel that punch hard? Did your career just flash before your eyes? And then you stand up. The referee's counting in your face, and you can see Luis Pantera Nari going like this right behind the referee. The crowd is yelling. Your head is buzzing. What do you do? The referee moves out of the way, and this man's coming right at you. And go. Fuck. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? What do you do? What are you doing? Man, it's just like that moment, man. You could just talk shit through, man. But when I think about fighting experience and my experience in the ring, um, I know that these shits cross the fighter's mind. I know that these scenarios and these situations got to play out, and you got to see this about your fighter, and there's no other way you're gonna get that until you're there. So, um, you know, that's a fighter's life. It comes with the job. Potentially being knocked down comes with the job. It's what you're gonna do when you get knocked down. You know, are you gonna be their punching bag, or are you still in this fight? And there's a lot of things your coaches got to determine for you too, whether they're gonna throw in the towel or they're gonna save their fighter. When you're being too tough for yourself. So yeah, guys, absolutely. What round did he get dropped in? The first round. He got dropped in the first round, in the very first round. And that's when Luis Pantera Nares was at his strongest. So it's not like he got dropped in the 6th round. They're a little fatigued, both fighters, and he got caught. No, he got caught cold. He caught him for the first time. Adrenaline is running through Luis Pantera Nari. I couldn't even imagine the feeling, that the adrenaline rush that was going through his body, the surge of energy, the shock of the crowd, of everybody seeing Naoya Inoue on the ground for the first time, and all the jaws. If they would have took the camera and they would have put it into the audience, they would have just saw a whole bunch of Japanese people like this. You know what I'm saying? And he's in the first round. He's strong as ever. He's still focused, and he was at his most dangerous for Naoya Inoue to evade all of that, shake the cobwebs off in his head. After the fight, while he was talking in the ring, Naoya Inoue had the microphone. You can already see the bruising starting to form on his cheek where he got punched. He hadn't even made it out of the ring, and the fight hadn't even concluded. And you could see his knuckle right here on his chin. That's how hard he caught him. He caught him flush, bro. Naoya Inoue got an iron chin. I think Luis Pantera Nari catches anybody else in 122 with that hook like that, he lays him out. I kind of think so. Naoya Inoue fought 10 rounds with a broken orbital bone. That's not saying that he fought 10 rounds and all he had to do was, it broke in the second round and just will through it. No, you got a guy punching you in the face every single round on top of a broken orbital bone. It's bad enough the shit's broke. This dude keeps punching me in my face, and the bone could be ripping through your flesh. The bone pieces, fragments, could be being sent further into your face. God only knows how much damage he was taking by allowing to go another 10 rounds with the guy that had the power to break it. For 10 rounds, he punched me in my face, bro. He wasn't helping. He wasn't putting a Band-Aid on it. Oh, Naoya Inoue, here's some gauze. Wait, let me see. Ow, ow, don't move. No, he was punching him in the face for 10 rounds. That's hard. That's tough, man. That is tough. Eesh. That's got to be tough, man. I knew a dude that fought with a broken cheekbone, and it popped out of his face. His eye socket sunk like that. He still fought. So this some men are just built different, bro. I noticed that when I used to fight, right? I gotta be honest, every punch hurt. The jab hurt. I remember. But after like a minute into, because amateur boxing was so fast that we were in there like pop, 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 right? Basically, right? We were rock'em sock'em robots, right? But after like a few, I don't know exactly when it happens. I can't remember. But after a while, I remember that the punches wouldn't hurt as and no more. I would see like a flash. It would be like pam, like that. But it didn't hurt like the first round. Like when you're just cold. The punches feel that much harder because you're not like warmed up and you don't got adrenaline flowing through your body and you're slugging bang bang and all you hear is like pow. You're not. It's weird. Anyway, for me, and I heard a lot of boxers talk about this too. You don't feel them as much once you start getting punched and you get those first punches out the way. So that's what I mean when he caught him in the first round, cold like that. That you're gonna have to you had a fresh prime Luis Pantera Nari on the attack, man. First round. That was tough. That was tough to deal with. And he did. And he did. That's why I give him credit. Yeah. He wasn't never knocked out. He didn't lose the fight. So that's what I speak of. But and look at all the success, Luis Pantera Nari. I don't I actually believe the parade is still going on right now. You know? um Al okay. He doesn't need Naoya anyway doesn't need Bob Aaron or Turkey. He sells by himself. I think that's I'm gonna give you some pushback on this. That's a skewed way of seeing things, and I'm gonna explain why real quick. Right, Naoya Inoue already had a boxing promoter, and he had a great one in the Japanese promoter that he had. I hear he's a very smart man and talented guy out there in Japan. He's probably, if not one of the top boxing promoters out there. With all that being said, um, he couldn't get Naoya Inoue to star status. He doesn't have all the phone calls and all the connects that Top Rank does. Top Rank works on a level with ESPN, the worldwide leading in sports. They have connections all around the world. I'm sure Homeboy could have some connections, but he doesn't speak all the other languages and he doesn't have all the phone calls and he doesn't know all the people to call. So without Bob Arum, Naoya Inoue really doesn't get those fights. Look, Bob Arum secured a lot of those title fights for him. I don't think that those other guys look, let's put it in this perspective, right? Let's say that Naoya Inoue never signed with Bob Arum and he's fighting in that Japanese guy's his boxing promoter. Let's just start right there. Let's say that Bob Arum has a guy in the same weight division and he wants to start his star, right? Okay, but Naoya Inoue doesn't sign to him. Who do you think Bob Arum's going to get these fights for that's going to just slither right underneath all the time to Naoya Inoue? Naoya Inoue is going to become the fighter that fights his leftovers while they build up Top Rank's fighter. And well, you know what he's going to say? I'm not fighting Naoya Inoue because I want him to fight my leftovers because he's not on my level. When Naoya would have always beat that guy. Bob Arum and all the powers that be would have kept on putting the guy they wanted. That's what would have ended up happening without without Bob Arum. But since Bob Arum stumbled upon Naoya Inoue and they got a real one in that man, now that Naoya Inoue made himself as this kind of thing, the problem is that when you think about Naoya Inoue doesn't need some of these guys to become big anymore. Well, technically he doesn't, and technically he does. There's too many things that go behind in boxing promoting that when you're signing contracts, you're going to want a real boxing promoter or you're going to leave a lot of money on the table because these other networks and stuff that want to swing and squeeze every nickel out of every fight, they're not your friends. These boxing promoters, Top Rank, Ed Hearn, all of them have had to learn, been screwed over in fights, know what real contracts look like, what should they entail. You start trying to tackle on all these things, and by the way, if Naoya Inoue, what's Naoya Inoue going to come out of pocket for all these venues, for all these plane tickets, his entire team, even though he gets a bill for that at the end because nothing in life is free, at least the promotional company is the ones that take responsibility on this. You want Naoya Inoue, small ass promotional company, to take on this kind of fight at this stage where you have Japanese movie stars, actors, ballet dancers, people. You better not fumble this. How many more of millions of dollars on the table you might have left with your inexperience to know how to promote a fight? So by having some of these top networks, it really maxes out your dollar, but sometimes they are fucking snakes. But sometimes some of these guys know that they got a real one in you, and that's when you can be in the transparency and the promotion. It's like when the bank bends over backwards to get your business. All of a sudden, they're showing you like the bank book. No, look, Mister. Blah blah blah. No, you keep your millions with us, and we love your. No. That bitch is fired. That said something dumb to you. Don't no. You are our valued customer. Like when you get like that in boxing, all of a sudden these promotional companies are real transparent a little because they don't want you to go anywhere else. And no. What? How much you want? We're gonna give you that. We're gonna give you that. You got it. Like you know what I'm saying? So it depends, but you would have to make yourself that kind of fighter. And Naoya Inoue, he doesn't need his father, that other dude, to be taking on all these things that Top Rank has an entire staff. Everybody knows their job. Do your job. That's all you got. I mean, why would you want to take that on for paying your promotional company takes what 13%? It's not bad. I'll pay 13% for you to secure me some of these huge fights. And then when you got top ranked fighters, since you didn't sign to me, they'll blackball Naoya Inoue out of boxing. He would have never became that. He wouldn't fight any. Yo, that's why you got to team up. You got to fit in where you get in sometimes. And all this thing of, TB, Javante Davis, promotion, Devin Haney, promotion. Promotion, how many fighters do you guys got? Devin Haney promoted just fumbled the biggest bag with the Ryan Garcia bag. Look how your promotional company, if you would have had a real promoter company, Bill Haney, maybe this shit wouldn't be happening. You guys want to try to do this on your own. Now look at this shit. Oh, you paid him, but you didn't pay me, and this too much distraction. Your son's getting all this. He took too much on. First, fight for a real promotional company, get established, then break away from them, like Floyd Mayweather did. Naoya, in a way, he's gotten to that point. He could probably walk away from them now. Yeah, probably. At his age, he could wrap up in Japan. He don't need none of these dudes, actually. But coming up to make him the man, he needed them. Yeah, they needed each other. This is business. Yeah. What content? What are you talking about? Oh, oh. All right, that's some political shit. What are you saying here? Naoya would make more with Raya. People act like he gets 10 million per fight in Japan. No, he doesn't get 10 million. And people do act like that. I get what you're saying. His last fight was his most. He made 6 point whatever $1 million, and that's the most money he ever made. Previously to that, I think only for fighting Stephen Kubo Fulton, he made just over $3 million, something like that. Steven made like just under 2 million for fighting him in Japan. Naoya in a way at that weight division, they don't really. That's what I'm saying. That what makes him so special. That the fact that he's signing a deal 19.7 for a guy at that weight division coming from 108, that's basically saying like he signed a $120 million contract in baseball or something for like 3 years. That would be the equivalence of that. To the type of money that those guys in those weight division usually see, you could be a champion for 10 years and not make even $1 million down there in those weight divisions. That's why it speaks to how big this is. And we've talked about it on this video. Um, so $19 million for a guy that's at 122 pounds, that is a freaking huge contract. That's massive. There's never been anyone in the history of 122 or anywhere like that made that kind of money at that weight. Manny Pacquiao started making that. He came from those weight divisions, but he started making his money when he started entering the 130s and better. That's where he really pocketed real money. He never made money like that when he was down in those lower weight divisions. No. So that's why when Naoya Inoue sitting there with the Saudi prince signing $19.7 million to, like, eventually we're gonna find out what, where, and when for, but that's fucking huge. That's like, that's like, Tank Davis signing that 200 million. It's right around the same equivalent. I get it's not the same dollar amount, but the status of it, like, there's no man that was making that kind of money. So that's why it's so big for those men. And it opens doors and opportunity, and it puts them, and they're like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. Look what he did for the 122-pound. He opened a door of opportunity for our weight divisions. The Junto Nagatonis now, the Bam Bam Rodriguez's. Maybe they purses get bigger because of what happened here. And that the fans start seeing, wait a minute, there are real boxers, real fighters in these weight divisions. What Naoya is doing on so many different levels is affecting boxing and helping out other boxers from just the shit that he's doing. It's like shit is trickling off. It's going to land on you because of the excellent shit that he's doing. And you got to see the whole picture. It's just not the contract for him. And it's just, it does a lot for his division, the sport, the future of the sport. A lot. It really does. You guys are wilding. Nah, I did a video on him already, and I interviewed him. I'm gonna see if I can get Subir Matias back on, um, and see what's going on with him just before their fight too. In fact, bam, I'm gonna check on that today and see if I can get him to come back on. See if he's not too busy. He can stop by and share a few things with us. Um, I'll see if I can put that together. So fight fans, listen, guys. What does this mean for boxing? What does this mean for Naoya Inoue? Time will tell, guys. I really think that Naoya Inoue, he's doing a lot for the sport. He's really good for the sport. Um, I like the way he carries himself, and to the young men and women that are looking up or thinking about entering our beautiful sport and thinking about ever what does it take to become that kind of world champion? And when they look back and they study of th- the amount of fights he had per year, um, what it took and who he beat on his way up there. Um, in boxing, there are no shortcuts. If you want to be a 4 division world champion, you're gonna have to move up 4 divisions. You're gonna have to fight and get and successfully get a belt in every weight division you get into. That's just the bottom line. If you want to chase his accolades, he's setting the bar really high for the next young man that comes up. And hopefully the next young man that comes up accepts the challenge. And I'm eager to see who is the next man and woman that is coming up and going to be the next talked about GOAT in my beloved sport, boxing. Thank you, fight fans, for tuning in. You guys have always been amazing. I'll be going on later on. So listen, fight fans. No, today's Monday, right? Yeah, I think this will be it for today, probably. But let me know what you guys think. What fighters that you guys want to talk about. There's a lot of boxing coming up. Um, we have a couple big cards with Keyshawn Davis. We have some big fights coming up with Abdullah Mason's on the card. I'm not sure what this Tank Davis situation's gonna go. Um, but if you guys want to talk about that, we can talk about all that. Uh, just let me know. Keyshawn, that's an amazing fight, guys, right there. Edwin, would you mind posting the link for Fight Hype right here? Okay, hold on. Let me just go get it. The video. I'll see if I can just put it up like that, right? Okay. So let me go over here and then go down to my subscriptions, right? Yeah, right here. All right. So Fight Hype's right here. Go to their lives. And you have to go when you go to fighthype.com, right? You go to the live and then you go to the next one over where it says, is Kid Austin ready for Shakur Stevenson, the good, the bad, and it was like 20 hours ago. So how do I get that link? I go in here and I go to share. I copy the link, coming back to the chat. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat right here. Paste, right there. That's the link to the video that I was on with him. And like I said, um, when I start talking in the video or whatever, when it first starts off, remember we was having mic issues. He turns off the screen, but I'm thinking that the people at home are watching me and can hear me and the guy from Chicago. We were in a full-fledged conversation. Camera comes back on. I start answering his questions. We was talking, and the host was like confused. He's like, "No, what are we talking about?" But it's because we thought we were carrying on the show while he was fixing out his technical difficulty. But and then the show really kicks off when we get into our debate about belts. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. It's comical. It's great debate, great discussion. Um, I don't look at this as far as until you make me look at it like I can have a debate with somebody. I can lose a debate. I've lost an argument before. That doesn't define my my status of boxing. No, of course not, right? But I've won them too. And that shit doesn't decide it. It's good, but on to the next discussion. Always just go on to the next. But this one in particular right here, it was a good one. Um, we didn't have nothing to do on a Sunday. Sit back and debate a little. you know? So yeah. But yeah, check it out. Check it out. Yo, them people roasted me on the comments and shit. Cause you're a home field advantage. Those are his fans. You know what I mean? But that's all right. That's all right. I still won. Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis he got some problems on his head right now. He's got a tough fight, I think. Realistically, he's supposed to beat this guy, right? them Russian type, Ukrainian type dudes, freaking Muslim dudes from out there, like from that side of the world, they're scary. They're scary. Um, as you can see, Terrence Crawford, Israel Madichov, um, them dudes are tough. Them kind of dudes, they tough and shit. So Jerron Boots Ennis right now, I'm not liking his activity as much as late. I think that he, got to put together, you know, some more fights like that. But I love Jerron Boots Ennis. I just want to see more of him and consistently have him like maybe fight the 3, 4 fight times a year type thing. Um, where that I know that if you left it up to Jerron Boots Ennis, I believe he would have fought 3, 4 times a year. This has to do a lot with marketing now. Ed Hearns being a part of the marketing, wanting to market him in Philly first and really get him really popular and established as a champion, then start to bring him out to other parts of the world. You know, um, I'm not sure necessarily if that always is a good thing, putting your fighter in front of his hometown with that kind of pressure to sell it, but sometimes, you know, um, it works out. So let's see what happens from there. Edwin, can you just playing it? What are you talking about, Bam? Huh? That's the video, right? Did I copy my link and didn't I copied it, right? That's the video. I think. Hold on. Um yeah, that's the link of the video. I'm looking right at it right now. Mm, hold up. You know what? I've been meaning to try something. I've been meaning to try something. I want to see if something works. So why don't we try this shit here together right now anyway? I want to see if I could scroll something onto my screen. So hold up. You might have to hear some sound right here. Okay. So if I was here, right? I want to try something with you know, so how many people got up to subscribe to see that all right. So it would be this one right here, right? Okay. You don't see that on your screen, right? How do I do that? How do I bring gotta figure out how to do that. Got it? Don't mind doing. Yo, see, babe, you got me trying to do things for you. You know what I mean? But listen, fight fans, um, we're gonna wrap this episode here up right here. Um, we're gonna keep a close eye on this, see what this leads for the boxing world. Let me know in your comment section what fights we're gonna be watching, what fights you guys want to watch with me on the live stream, and come after Bam's Notre Dame world title. You know what I'm saying? Because he's sitting on the throne right now, trying to be slick. You know, and he thinks he's gonna hold on to the belt. But nah, you gotta come up off that, son. You know what I'm saying? I won't need that. You know what I mean? So fight fans, man, listen, love yourselves. Have a great day and a blessed day. And like always, I'm on to the next one. After this one, here at Round One Sports Talk. That's Fight Hype. The title of go to the lives. The title of the name is Kid Austin ready for Shakur Stevenson, the good, the bad, the ugly recap. That's the title of it. All right, guys. Enjoy.